A recent study by a group of scientists, former defense officials, and intelligence officers determined the COVID-19 virus came from a Wuhan, China lab. This group, known as Team B3, went further, saying the Chinese Communist Party intentionally unleashed it on the world. Those findings and more appear in the new book, The CCP is at War with America, from the Center for Security Policy. Former House Intelligence Committee Chairman Peter Hoekstra is one of the authors.
When you research the virus scientifically, you understand very clearly that this thing did not evolve out of nature. There's a lot of evidence that says most likely this came out of the lab.
Not from tainted bat meat in a Wuhan wet market, Hoekstra insists. Chief Medical Advisor to the President, Dr. Anthony Fauci, disagrees. He says when highly rated and competent virologists looked at the virus carefully, they determined that COVID-19 evolved naturally. Also in late July, journal Science published research showing that the virus originated in the Wuhan wet market, not in the lab. Brian Kennedy, chairman of the Committee on the Present Danger China, doubts the validity of that research.
I think we're living in an age of real disinformation, where people throw out these studies without conclusive evidence, but they say that there is a study, and it's all just kind of a big con. And it really is unbecoming of a free people to accept this nonsense.
And more Americans are rejecting studies that suggest a natural origin to the virus. A new national poll commissioned by the Committee on the Present Danger China shows 60% of adults questioned believe the Chinese Communist Party deliberately unleashed the COVID virus.
More people saying it doesn't mean there's more evidence of it. Now, we always must, and I'll be very official about this, you keep an open mind to any possibility. And I have been of that bent from the very beginning.
Open minds have led to altered views about COVID-19. Although the World Health Organization initially supported China's claim that the virus originated from diseased bat meat in a Chinese wet market, today, nearly 3 years later, the WHO and Jeffrey Sachs of the Lancet Commission believe COVID-19 originated in that Wuhan lab. Also, former CDC Director Robert Redfield has changed his thinking. He now believes the virus may have been manipulated in the lab. He suggests that it became one of the most lethal known to man because it was, quote, educated how to infect human tissue. Hoekstra and members of the Plan B group also conclude the virus was engineered. But did China intentionally spread the virus around the world? Kennedy thinks the timing of the pandemic is more than a coincidence. He says it began shortly after aspects of Donald Trump's Phase 1 trade agreement with China kicked in.
Within 6 months, this virus spreads from Wuhan, China, to the rest of the world, most directly at the United States. They let flights go from Wuhan to the rest of the world, knowing that this virus would spread. They did that on purpose, intentionally. Now, if that's not an act of biowarfare, I'm not sure what is.
The virus wrecked the U.S. economy and killed more than 1 million Americans. The same McLaughlin poll commissioned by Kennedy's organization found that 60% of American adults want China held accountable. Hoekstra says he's looking forward to a Republican-controlled House that would take a deep dive into what U.S. leaders and health officials actually knew about the virus.
When did they know it? And did they actually facilitate or assist the Chinese in this attack against the United States of America?
But hasn't this also, Congressman, hurt the Chinese government as well and their economy? It's not just the U.S. and parts of the world.
Oh, it sure has. But remember, we have different philosophies. Americans, we value life. We as Christians, we value every single life. In China, it's a throwaway. If they can move forward in taking down the United States of America, and it costs them millions of lives, they don't care.
They want to demoralize us because we're a free people, and they want to demoralize us because we're a religious people. We believe in Jesus Christ. We believe in the power of our Christian faith. We couldn't go to church, or we couldn't meet our neighbors, or we couldn't visit with family. That's the kind of thing that demoralizes a free people.
Members of the Team B3 group believe China may unleash another deadly virus in the future.
The Chinese, in their writings, their public speeches, they've said that biowarfare is something that they will consider, and it may be something that they will use. From our perspective, this COVID-19 is a test run. As they increase their capabilities, increase their sophistication with bioweapons.
And the former House Intelligence Committee chairman warns Americans to wake up to the imminent danger.
We need to recognize the threat is real. The Chinese have used it, and they will use it again.
Gary Lane, CBN News.